how you really took that aspect of courage and went into the unknown. And are you, as a leader today, taking some measures or some steps to build that women leadership for your organization as well as beyond?
Courage is such a relatively interesting word, and I'll give you a story.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to have a very early break into leadership. I was 27, and my then manager called me to say, "I've got your interview set up for to be the manager of the team I was a part of. It's set up for tomorrow morning at 10:30 with the decision maker, and make a decision if you want to go for it." And I remember thinking, are you like, there was not a single person on my team who was younger than me. I was the youngest person on my team. And I actually first initially thought it was a joke, but then when he spoke to me, the fact that he believed in me made me think, oh, why am I being dismissive? But the first call I did was to my dad, and to say, Dad, I don't know why, they're asking me to apply for this, but what do you think? And he gave me this story, which has actually stayed with me. And he said that, he's from the National Defense Academy. He said when he fought the 1971 war, he had just a few years of experience, but was made responsible for leading this platoon during the battle. And it didn't matter how old or young you were, the success of the team depended upon the decisions you took. And he said, you know what, if I could do that as a fairly young person, you should, the age is not a defining, age doesn't define your capability. But if other people have the confidence that they're seeing something in you and you're not seeing in yourself, go for it and it'll come out, right? And for me, that was a pivotal courage moment, because at that point in time, I didn't think I could do it, but there were many people around me who believed in it, and that their courage or their conviction created the courage in me to go for it. Today, when I think about courage, I feel courage is a lot in the daily actions. Like a lot of the courage is in how we communicate. A lot of time in workforce, we're very shy of giving feedback, or we don't want to be the person giving the courageous feedback in the room. To call the spade a spade, or to or just a lot of times in India, I feel that we're very comfortable giving courageous feedback in one-on-one, but not in like a public forum, because it feels like we're challenging authority. So I think a lot of that just shows up in the conviction that you have, saying you're standing up for something that is right, or you're voicing an opinion which you believe is right, and as long as it's done with the right intention, not to pull someone down. I think a lot of the courage we can show is on the everyday aspects, versus waiting for a heroic moment to show courage.
Great. I think it's all about being true to your authentic self.
Absolutely.
And having the courage to show your authentic
Absolutely.
self. And that's where you said that courage is relative.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing in your firm, or even otherwise outside, to build women who can be at your position someday?
Why at my position? They should be a lot higher.
Yeah.
Salesforce is very deeply rooted in our values. One of the things that drew me to Salesforce was the fact that we have a very deep-rooted culture. In fact, we have something called 1-1-1, which is 1% of our time, 1% of our equity, and 1% of our product is always given back. We have large employee resource groups. SWN, for Women Network, is a very strong community within Salesforce, where, of course, there's a lot of building of the building mentorship, sponsorship, lots of coaching, lots of growth opportunities presented there. And at a more personal level, I remember being a mother returning to work, and a lot of people were very surprised or very skeptical on whether I would return back to work in a full-fledged facility. So, and you've got two boys, I've got two boys, and I think there is a balance balance is a really strong word, and but that I felt was a very important aspect of coming back to work as a young mother. And therefore, a lot of the one-on-one mentorships I do is about women coming back to work after a maternity break, or just right after maternity, and how to find the balance, or tips and tricks of what we've done, you've done, I've done, and many people around us have done to create that balance for ourselves, right? And like you said, a lot of it is just being okay to say no. I feel, a lot like there are a number of things I say no to, and I have absolutely no fear of missing out, because it comes at the trade-off of creating a balance that is much more important to me. So a lot of the time that I personally spend is in mentorship or one-on-one conversations, or even group conversations are around that. We, of course, have a lot of advocacy on the, creating more. I mean, we have so many clients who are women. We do a bunch of advocacy events or conversations about how to elevate to for the ones who are in the C-level suites to get to the CEO positions, for the CEOs to get into the board positions. There's so much tribal knowledge that exists, and I'm just trying to be a facilitator of that sometimes.
No, this is truly inspiring, Mankiran. And just if I have to look back at my journey, one of my mentors, when I came back to work as a young mother, told me that if you are leaving your little baby behind, make that time count.
Absolutely.
And that filled me with so much of fire to excel in that time that I'm away from my baby. So I think we all get fueled,
Exactly.
further fueled than when our priorities get kind of redefined.
Absolutely.
Mankiran, it's been so amazing to have you. I'm sure
Pleasure.
many of us looking at this conversation will get inspired, and we hope to have many more interactions with you in the future.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, and more power to everybody.
Thank you.